Hello, everybody. Welcome back to PW IELTS and TOEFL Prep. My name is Vandana, and in this session, we are going to dive deep into General IELTS Writing Task 1, and that is letter writing. So let's get the ball rolling and dive deep into it straight away. And here we go. Let's get done with the overview first. Now, letter writing is your writing task 1 of General IELTS version. It's recommended that you write a minimum of 150 words in this task. However, you should be writing a little more than that. Somewhere around 160 to 180 words would be a decent possibility. And out of the one complete hour that you are given for writing module, it's recommended that you keep aside 20 minutes for letter writing and 40 minutes for your task 2, which is essay writing. Moving on, now, on the day of exam, you may be given a formal letter, a semi-formal letter, or an informal letter. Let's understand the differences among them. And here we go. Formal letter is the one which you write to an authority figure or an organization, and you don't even know who would be reading your letter. You don't even know the name of that person. You don't even know whether that person would be a man or a woman. Let's say, for example, if you are writing the letter to rubbish collection system or editor of a newspaper, that would be considered as formal because you don't really know who would be reading your letter. You don't know that person. Coming to the semi-formal category, now you know these people, you know the name of your manager or your boss. It can be your teacher, landlord, landlady, tenant, or your neighbor. So you know these people, you know their names, but you don't share a personal bond with them. And that is our semi-formal category. Informal, of course, when you are writing a letter to a friend, a family member, or a relative. So that's the major difference among these three. Now moving on. Let's understand the difference between formal versus informal tone, which is highly crucial. So, if you get an informal letter, you should be writing that letter with informal English. And similarly, if you get semi formal or formal letter, then you should be using formal English. For example, in formal English, we would say, I need to apprise you. That means I need to inform you of the recent development. However, in informal language, we say, guess what? Similarly, instead of saying kindly schedule a meeting, which we would say in the case of formal letters, in informals, we would say something like this, let's catch up this weekend. So this tone difference, to understand this tone difference is of extreme importance because you need to be able to tell the examiner that I understand the difference between formal and informal English. And how would you tell that? Through your language skills, right? Now moving ahead, this is how a sample letter prompt looks like. Even on the day of exam, it will be like this. You'll have a main information statement at the top, which will be followed by 3 bullet points. Now, the information statement here says, write a letter to a friend for a new sport you have joined. And then it says, why did you like the sport? When and where is the sport? Invite your friend also to join. When you write a letter, these 3 bullet points will be converted into 3 body paragraphs. But yes, we'll be seeing the structure in detail right now. Okay, so moving on, let's understand the structure we are going to follow. The very first step is going to be your salutation. We also call this the greetings. Now, in the case, because this is letter to a friend, here we can write something like this, Dear John. That means dear plus the first name, and then comes the purpose statement. In purpose statement, basically, we write why exactly are we writing the letter? What's the purpose? Why exactly? So reason for writing comes here. Reason for writing. And then as you can see, the 3 bullet points will be converted into 3 body paragraphs in the same chronology. And then it will be followed by ending statement. So because you are writing to a friend, we can say something like, let's catch up this weekend. I want to tell so much more to you. But then yes, ending statement will depend on the context. And then you sign off. In the case of informal letters, we can simply write yours lovingly, followed by your first name or any imaginary first name. So that is the structure. We do not write any address in the case of IELTS letters. Now moving on, let's also understand the first and final step in the case of formal, informal, and semi-formal letters. So if it's a formal letter, your first step, that means greetings or salutation, they're going to be like this: Dear Sir slash Madam, followed by a comma, and the initials of Dear Sir, Madam should be in caps. The final step is going to be sign off, which is going to be yours faithfully, and then a full name. It can be your own name, it can be an imaginary name as well. So, this is about formal letter. Now, let's see the informal category. Here you go. In informal, of course, your salutation will have dear plus first name, and the sign off will be yours lovingly, followed by a comma, and then once again, first name. Moving on now to the semi-formal category. Here you go. Here, after the word dear in salutation, you need to take some title. It can be Mr., it can be Mrs., it can be just Miss, followed by last name. This is important. If you write dear Mr. Ajay, let's say, it would be considered wrong. It would be considered a mistake because after these titles, it's important to take the last name, just like here you see. So, dear Mr. Kapoor, followed by a comma. And in the sign off, we say, yours sincerely, full name again, Lisa Matthew. Imaginary, can be your own. Moving on now, let's take a look at some examples of purpose statements. So you can say, I'm writing to complain about if it's a complaint letter. I'm writing to request information regarding if you want information. I'm writing to apologize for. I'm writing to let you know. So you see the informal tone here. I'm writing to let you know, plus this kind of contraction. In place of a complete I am, here we are writing the contraction of I am, which is I apostrophe and only am. So these kind of contractions are recommended if you are writing an informal letter. Moving on, let's take a look at this sample now. So the question says you recently bought a product online, but it arrived damaged. Write a letter to the company. Bullet point one, describe the problem, explain how it affected you, ask for a refund or replacement. So it's a complaint letter. We are writing to a company, and because we are writing to a company, we don't know who would be reading our letter. Hence, it's formal and we'll begin like dear sir slash madam. Let's take a look at the complete sample now. So here we have salutation plus purpose statement. Salutation, dear sir slash madam. In the purpose, we are saying, I'm writing to express my dissatisfaction with the product I recently purchased from your website. Unfortunately, the item arrived in a damaged condition, which was quite disappointing. So purpose statement done, salutation done. Now we will tell exactly what the damage was. Describe the problem. That's our body para one. Let's take a look at it on the next slide. And here you go. So now we are describing, we are saying I ordered a pair of wireless headphones, order ID, last week and it was delivered on 20th January. However, upon opening the package, I noticed that one side of the headphones was broken and the charging case had visible cracks. This clearly indicates that the product was either poorly handled during transit or inadequately packaged. Now, let's take a look at body paragraph 2, which wherein we will say explain how it affected you. So here we go with the second body paragraph. And now we are saying this situation has caused me considerable inconvenience as I had purchased the headphones for an important online meeting. Due to the damage, I was unable to use them and had to make alternative arrangements at the last minute. So this was the effect. Now, ask for either a replacement or refund. And let's take a look at the third body paragraph. Here we go. I would therefore appreciate it if you could either arrange for a replacement at the earliest or provide a full refund, including the delivery charges. I have attached photographs of the damaged item for your reference. So it's our request to either replace or provide refund. Now let's see the closing statement, the ending statement. And here we are saying, I look forward to your prompt response and a satisfactory resolution to this matter. That's our closing statement. Now let's see the sign off. And here we go. Yours faithfully. I have written my own name. That is Vandana Tarwani. If you want, you can write an imaginary name also. And that's how we write a complete, full-fledged formal IELTS letter. I hope this was helpful. I'll be seeing you in the next lecture very soon. Bye bye, everyone. Take care.